Right guys, for this video I'm going to explain both methods on how to get the helicopter since neither method works on either console. Right, PS2 method coming up now. So yup guys, before the mission you need to get an ambulance. We don't have to, but this is the easiest way to perform the jump, basically. Just get yourself an ambulance and you're going to have to drive all the way to the Shoreside Vale Bridge. I'm sure you know where that is by now. So basically drive onto the bridge, which is just here. We'll see there. So yup guys, I'm at the bridge now, as you can see. So what we do is we just drive up it, like normal. This is basically the alternative method compared to the PCJ jump. I think it's a bit easier, that's why I personally do this, but you know, it's also much more reliable as well, even if it's not as funky or stylish. So what we do is we just drive the ambulance kind of, yeah, like that. Can take a few attempts, but I'm sure you'll get there in the end. Just drive it up like that. That's probably good enough. Now what we have to do is make sure that you can jump onto the bridge. So do this a few times, practice it, because when you come to the mission, you'll only have a very short amount of time to do this. There we go. That means I can actually get onto the bridge. So what we do now is when you've jumped onto the bridge, then don't touch your ambulance. What you want to do is just run away now and just find any vehicle. And you're going to use this vehicle to get to the mission. And you have to use the exact same vehicle that you used to get to the mission to come back. Otherwise the ambulance will vanish, because the game runs on a free vehicle detection deletion system. So it will always preserve the vehicle data if you don't use more than 2 vehicles, basically. So now I have to find any old car or motorbike, it doesn't matter. Right, PCJ, that's cool. So now I'm going to drive to the mission with this PCJ. And when I activate the mission, I'll prove to you that the ambulance will still be there if I use this PCJ. If the vehicle you use disappears or it's stolen by a thieving pedestrian, you have to restart the whole process because the ambulance will vanish. So park the PCJ far away from the marker and let's go to the mission. This is the PS2 way of getting the heli. Since I'm on a PSP, I'm not going to fully obtain it this way. You'll see why. But I'm just doing it to show you how you can do it on the PS2. So let's see if my PCJ is there. Yup. Just get onto the PCJ, or whatever vehicle you use. Now as quickly as you can, get to the Shoreside Vale Bridge. You are timed here, so the quicker you get there, the more time you have to get onto the bridge. Now, it was someone called Alejandro Hernandez Samieno who discovered the cheatless way to get the Maverick helicopter for PS2. What a genius. I really owe him that. So there's the ambulance. So now, quickly as you can, get onto the bridge. Pause the game if you need to, get comfortable, because when the game's paused, nothing happens. There we go. And now just run to past that light. Don't go too far, otherwise you'll fall through. And jump onto this roofless building. And now we just wait. And you're going to see why I can't use this method to get the heli. So PSP players must not try this method. Oh my, this gives me so many memories of my first ever GTA video. My first ever GTA video was how to obtain this helicopter on the PSP. And it's been like 4 years now. So the helicopter's coming now. You cannot even use a flamethrower to force the drivers out. You basically just steal it, like a car. But as you see, on PSP the wretched door is locked. So yup, when PS2 users have their helicopter, All they have to do is basically just wait for the mission to fail, and then carefully fly back to the garage, which is over here. Yeah, the helicopter is really fragile and it will fly extremely fast. So yeah, you basically just fly it back. It's a really nice way to obtain a heli as well. Make sure you have a car nearby so you can just give it a bit of a push. Yeah, get as close as you can to the garage, but obviously be careful because the rotors will cause a lot of damage. The Fairly Access car is a brilliant car, but the taxi's good as well. Just anything that's not too aggressive. I think heavy vehicles are a bad idea because they do cause a lot of damage. So yep, very, very carefully push it in. When it's in like that, you can even use Tony alone just to move the tail around. Getting it out is another story, but if you can get it in, you can get it out. And there you go. That is the PS2 exclusive helicopter. Right guys, for the PSP users, we need to have a strong pushing vehicle, like a heavy damage proof vehicle. A fire truck can work, or a tank. So I leave that up to you. Basically get yourself to Phil Cassidy's gun shop and get yourself a rocket launcher. However, if you already have a rocket launcher, you can ignore this and just carry on straight to the location. But I'm going to go and get a rocket launcher just for sake of completeness. So yep, there we go. Now get back in your pushing vehicle, and we're going to basically go to a spot, which I always use, right to the south of Belleville Park, and we have to blow the helicopter up. Considering the helicopter has locked doors, we can't use the really cool PS2 way of getting it, unfortunately. We have to rely on a much more tedious, complicated process. So park your vehicle over here. I can't believe this is my third video on this topic. My first ever video on YouTube was pretty much how to obtain this helicopter exactly this way, and how much things have advanced is unbelievable. I mean, I used a fire truck. I thought like the fire truck and the tank were like the ultimate vehicles, whereas now we're using heavy damage proof vehicles. Everything's just getting upgraded all the time. So that's where the heli is, and the PS2 users, as you witnessed earlier, can simply just jack it in midair. But unfortunately us PSP players are cursed from the locked door system, and what's quite interesting is this is the second set of locked doors. The first set of locked doors was the fire truck. PS2 users could simply just steal the heavy fire truck, whereas we couldn't. So this is the second time that the PS2 gets an easier vehicle. But it's pretty rare, so I won't complain. So yeah, get your rocket launcher out, and the helicopter will be flying over very soon. Now this is annoying because sometimes you will attract a wanted level, just totally depends on your luck. So yep, let the heli come this way. Shoot it down. Now get your pushing vehicle. Try not to lose sight of the heli because it will vanish if you're not careful. And now we're going to push it straight back to the garage. We're going to go up this road, up the diagonal road, and then sort of into the garage that way. Now this is much easier than the Fireproof Maverick, so this is going to be such a relief compared to the Fireproof Maverick. However, it is still hard because of restoring it in the garage. Restoring the heli in the garage is insanely tricky. So, you know, that's why I still rated this 4-star. Even if it is a lot easier than the sort of Fireproof Maverick. So yeah, basically the mission will fail. And we need it to fail, because otherwise the garage wouldn't restore the blown up heli. So that exactly doesn't matter. And now we just, yep, push the heli back to the garage. After a few tries, you'll really get used to how it works. You know, you can never really do this in one go. It's so unlikely. Because you can push it to the garage just fine, but then restoring it in the garage is another question. Yeah, so I'm just still pushing the heli. For some reason it's really hard to push it in a straight line if you're not in a fire truck or a tank. It's really sensitive. And also there's a really annoying steel pole ahead. Make sure you watch out for it. That big steel pole there literally really screws you over sometimes, so don't touch it. It basically doesn't disintegrate, and you know, the heli just kind of gets stuck and it gets caught and everything. Okay, right, we do not want to push it in here, but it doesn't exactly make much of a difference because I'm in a damage-proof heavy vehicle, so it's not going to get destroyed. Right guys, I got the helicopter out of that entanglement, finally. So yeah, let's proceed. It's quite fun actually, pushing it, because the distance is not large at all. This is basically the second opportunity for PSP players to get the heli. First opportunity for PS2 and the last opportunity. Yeah, this bit's really annoying as well. Basically got to push it down this alleyway. So yeah, just shunt it down like that. Getting there. Yep, also make sure that your tail rotor is pointing to the left, not the right. Because my method of getting it in the garage, I always have the tail rotor on the left. Just doesn't want to move in a straight line, does it? Right, there we go. That's exactly the position you want it in. Maybe have it slightly curved around, like that. Do not push it in yet, though. You need to have a jamming vehicle to use. I always use a Banshee or a motorbike, because they've got a very low tolerance. What I mean by that is low vertical height, which means that the helicopter will not get caught on it when it goes into the garage. Wow, the helicopter really drifts. It's crazy. So yeah, just get your jamming vehicle ready and lined up. Get in your pushing vehicle again. And now, this is the moment where things go terribly wrong most of the time. It's such an unpredictable, catastrophic event. Right, push the helicopter around like that. Verse quickly. And now, very carefully. Oh. So yep guys, I'm back with the heli, because I failed last time. Let's try this again. So get ready, and yep, take the shot. Right, go for it. Push the heli around like that, as quickly as you can. And now you have to quickly get it around like that. Yes! Right, come on, quick, quick, quick. Get the Banshee, come on. Yes! And there you go. False Idols Maverick. At your service. That actually didn't keep the door open, after all, the Banshee. It wasn't quite in the garage enough. But anyway, to get it out, just use something gentle like a Pirelli Access or a taxi or something like that. I might make a video later on how to get it out. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope for both you PS2 and PSP players you managed to get it. The PSP players actually have another opportunity to get a helicopter later on. So if you haven't got any garage space, you don't have to obtain this one. You can wait for the future one. However, the future one can be a bit tricky, so I leave that up to you. Anyway, cheers for watching. Thanks.